Perfect. Thanks, Amy. I appreciate everyone's time this morning. My name is Gus. Once again, I've been with GroupLink quite a few years now, and I look forward to showing you a few things here, really to how to make life a little bit easier, a little bit better for you there in the IT world. I have some different areas of the help desk that I'd like to show to you. Just some general information that I'll point out, for those of you that maybe this is your first time looking at it. It is web-based, it's mobile compatible. Whether you host it or we host it, it's the availability to push it out over the web is key, and so you'd be able to do that with both options. Mobile compatible meaning iPhones, Droids, Blackberries, iPads, tablets, creating tickets, updating tickets, closing tickets, all that functionality is there within the mobile device. It would actually pull up it obviously in mobile interface as well, simplifying the view a little bit for you. Our thought there is your technicians are often on the go, so why wouldn't your help desk be on the go as well? And so we wanted to make sure that that is available. We also integrate with the email system. We would integrate with like an Active Directory, eDirectory, even an Open LDAP directory for those of you that would be using that. And so know that those integration points are there as well. I won't really cover much of it. I will go through email integration for, going through, your communication and automating and improving it throughout the organization. I'm going to kind of start as an end user. Let's say that I'm an end user and I need some help. I have some different options. Number one, I can come here and I can search the knowledge base. I can come in. The knowledge base allows you to come in and input, maybe your top 10, top 15 frequently asked questions. This goes back to giving them the ability to, solve simple issues themselves. How do I set up my voicemail? The last thing you want your staff doing is spending all day setting up voicemails or those type of questions that come in. And so what we can do is we can actually create a little search engine for them. Obviously, if you only have a handful of articles, this list wouldn't be that long anyway. But if I come into the article, I have the step-by-step description here. Now, once again, this is something that you have the ability to come in and build. We realize that each organization operates a little bit differently, and so we give you the ability to build these articles from scratch. It'll take you just a couple of minutes. It's very easy. You can throw in web links, PowerPoints, pictures, videos. I mean, you have some different options here for them. You'll notice that even if they call you, let's say they call you on the phone, hey, I need some help doing this, you can actually come in and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to email you the instructions of how to do it, and then call us back if you have questions from there. And so you can, even send this to them via email. You'll notice here that the type is public. Obviously, we're trying to, we're talking a little bit about how we can allow users to help themselves. But we offer two types of articles, public and private. A private article is detailed resolution, sensitive documentation that you don't want users seeing or attempting, but you want to make available for your IT staff. By all means, you can mark that as private, and only those with rights to IT would, as a technician or manager, would have the ability to see those articles. It's great for information sharing. A lot of times you want to share information, but just amongst yourselves, and so we do allow that within the knowledge base as well. Now, something else that you can do, being web-based, is that we can make the system available to your user so that they can input a new ticket. If I come in here and log in as a user, and I will mention this, we integrate with your directory. We authenticate through the directory for login ID and password, and so you're not having to recreate this information. We're going to use what's in your directory. But once I've come in, I've logged in as Nikki Patterson. I'm an end user. I'm not a tech or a manager, just an end user. I have the ability to come over here and create a new ticket. Now, before I do that, you'll notice that I see a list of tickets. I have 7 open tickets. Hopefully, you don't have an end user with 7 open tickets at one time. But, maybe. There's a few out there that might. But it's a great place to increase your communication. It's a great place for them to come to see a status update. They can't change it. This is more view only than anything. But they could add a public note to this, to the ticket. They can see where it's at. It's kind of like package tracking. It's great to be able to just jump online and say, where's this at? And you can take a glance. You can remove this from their view if you didn't want them to be able to see this. But let's pretend that I have a new problem. And so if I come over here, once again, this is the end user. The technician, they're able to go out and do their work. We're allowing the user to come in here and fill out a very simplified form, which I'll briefly go through. The group field here, obviously we're probably talking mostly IT with the crowd that we have today. But if you have other departments that want to utilize a system like this, just know that they can. The key is that there's rights and securities that separate these departments. They don't see your tickets, you don't see their tickets, you don't report on each other's tickets. We're really just giving the end user a central place to go for help. Maybe in this example, for their heating and air conditioning, or maybe it's for their computer. Within the organization, we can have one system, but just note that there is, separation there between departments, meaning even this form is custom by department. You can have your own look and feel of the form here. We pull this information automatically from the directory. If you have additional fields in the directory that you want to show here, you can. All we really ask them to do is fill out a few simple drop-downs. If I come in here to this list of categories, every drop-down you see is configured by you. It would take you literally seconds to build this list. It is a very easy tool. You can add to it, take away from it, as needed. But don't be thrown off by what I have. Note that that is custom to your organization. But if I choose hardware and I come to category option, I can list the different types of hardware that I want them to choose from. The idea here is let's get away from those emails that come in that just say, hey, I need some help, and you really have no idea what it's about. You're not prepared. The communication is weak, and this allows us to come in here and maybe gather a little bit more info. We understand that sometimes they might be wrong, but at least we get an idea of where this is coming from. If I come in and I choose, let's say, boot problem, you'll notice that an assignment's made. It looks like a drop-down. It's not. You do have the ability to route assignments. This, once again, goes back to some of your automation. We can route to an individual or a team. We call them a ticket pool. But you can route to those based off of locations, categories, and category options. In some scenarios, at some organizations, we say, hey, if it comes from this location, this is our first level support person for the location. In other scenarios, you may say, based off of skill set. If it's hardware, it goes to Gus. If it's software, it goes to Bob. I mean, you have some different options for that. These fields here are actually custom fields. I've created global custom fields, but if I come in and I choose like printer, you'll notice that I have additional fields. We do give you the ability to customize this form. You can create additional fields. You can make them, text areas, check boxes, radio buttons. We even have like a date field. You can make them required, not required, drop downs here. You determine what's in the drop down. You can put them in any order that you'd like. We just understand that sometimes you like to ask 2 or 3, 4 additional questions when a certain type of issue comes in, or you need to gather that information. And so it would literally take you about 3 to 5 seconds to build one of these fields. It's very easy to do. But at the end of the day, we're able to increase that communication, get the information that we need, and as you can see, it's very easy to do. I can put in a subject and a note. I can even attach a file here if we wanted. But when I save this, this gets back to our communication as well. We send an email automatically back to the end user with a confirmation number, with the ticket number. And then we also have the ability to send an email notification to the technician that has been assigned to this, or the group of technicians, letting them know that there's a new ticket in the system. If you wanted to turn off some of those emails, you can. That is your right to obviously go in and determine what emails you want to go out and who to get them. All right. I apologize for being a little long-winded, but I really hope that you can see how the self-help portal here for the user allows them not only to search articles for common questions, but also, if they needed to, they could input their own ticket, allowing your technicians to continue to work, and then do what they do. I'm going to jump out here, and I'm actually going to come in as more of a tech. I know it says manager there. I have managerial rights. That's the only reason that I do that. But managers have rights to settings and full access to reporting, which we'll get to here in a few minutes. But let's say that somebody calls me. I think one of the biggest pains as a technician is when you get a call and you have to come in here and you have to put in the work order. You really feel like it slows you down, but it's a necessity. We want to document it. And so I can come in here and I can fill this out from scratch. This actually will search your directory. For instance, if I have Nikki on the phone, I choose Nikki's name. It auto-populates all that information. I would then fill this out very much the same way. The reason I show you this is because we've actually come up with a solution to help get rid of this burden of creating these tickets from scratch. We call them ticket templates. It allows you to predefine your top 10, top 15, however many you want, type of calls that would come in. And so instead of creating a new ticket, it actually will open up a pre-populated ticket for the type of call that has come in. And I have a few here, like a reset username and password. And so what it'll do is it'll open it up, pre-populated, and I have some custom fields that I have not populated, and I apologize for that. But in the same sense, all I really have to do is input who the user would be, and I can launch this into the system. We call it a quick ticket. In some scenarios, we would just close it right away. It takes us longer to fill out a ticket than to solve the problem, but we still want to document it. In other scenarios, it's something that still needs to go and be assigned to somebody and hit a queue. But at the end of the day, it allows us to just, in a couple of seconds, 2 clicks, get information into the system, and then allow you to then go in and see, well, how many reset username and passwords did we really do? And that burden of documentation wasn't necessarily put back onto the technician to do. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And I'm going to get back to ticket templates here in just a few minutes. We have some other scenarios for ticket templates. It's not what I wanted. Let's go back here. Okay, let's talk about prioritizing. If I come in here as a technician, what I see is actually a list of my assignments. Now I can come in here and I can say, well, I want to see my oldest tickets first. I want to prioritize this by high, or low first. I want to see this by location. It's very easy to come in, see my workload, and then decide how I want to view it and how I want to see it. Even to the point where these columns are customizable. You can put these in any order that you want. You can simply just come in here to edit mode, slide these around. You can add a custom field as a column. I think I have an example of that over here. Yeah. Did you spell Coke on your keyboard again? Right. I know it's blank, but I wanted to show that if there's additional information that you want to see here so that you're able to easily and more efficiently prioritize your day, you do have that ability to do. Now, a ticket pool, this is if I'm a part of a team queue, I can see this. This tab here is a managerial view. Just because we're auto-routing assignment doesn't mean we can't see it as a manager. And so this allows me to come in and see who's assigned to what. Once again, prioritize that. I want to sort this by assignment, by oldest tickets first, location, any field that we do have here. You can even build a filter, and you can add a tab. For instance, let's say you created a filter that says, show me all the tickets that have been assigned and not updated that are older than 3 days. I've already created this filter, but if I come in here and I choose it and I save it, it now adds it as a tab. And so how much easier is it now for me to prioritize? Where I can literally just come in here to this tab and say, well, these are all the tickets that have been assigned and not updated and they're older than 3 days. And it looks like Gus, that guy, isn't doing much here. And so you can see that. And you can create these custom fields. You want to see high priorities in one. You've hired a new technician and you want to see their tickets in one, as a manager. You would have the ability to do that and, like I said, easily prioritize going through that. Now, if I come in here to an existing ticket, you'll notice this looks, very similar. We do track history. We tell you the day, the time, who made the update, what the update was. And we track all of that information for you, kind of like an audit trail. But let's talk about communication here. Let's say I'm a technician and I want to update this. I can simply come in here and I can add my notes. Now you'll notice here, this is what I want to get at, the notification side to this. I can notify, and in this case I have this checked. I have user checked. So when I save this, this will actually send an email to the user with this information automatically. I don't have to write a separate email, make a separate phone call for follow-up. I can do that right from here. Let's say part is on order. Help if I can spell here. Will be in on Friday, right? Obviously you can be more detailed than that. But like I said, saving this sends an email to them with this information. We also embed the ticket number in the subject line so that if they hit reply to the email, guess what? Their reply will actually come back, look up ticket 78, stamp in the history, and at the same time send it via email to the technician. From there, if the technician is on their phone and just hits reply to the email, you probably get where I'm going with this. It goes back, stamps their reply in the ticket, and sends it via email to the user. And so, like I said, we're trying to improve that communication, making it simple and easy on both parties, and at the same time documenting it, showing the work that we're doing there within it. All right, I hope that makes sense. I'm going to kind of finish up more along the lines of some of the managerial things that we can do. Updating a ticket, very easy, as I've just gone through. I mean, I could change the status, the priority. Once again, these lists are configured by you. Very easy to come in and update this. Now, if I come down here to the bottom, you notice here that I have what we call sub-tickets. And this is getting more out of help desk and more into some of your project management, where we can actually do what we call parent-child ticketing, where let's say you have 5 different tasks that are associated to a project. Well, instead of creating 5 tickets that are floating out there somewhere, you can actually come in and you can create them from a parent ticket so that you're able to open these, view them, and see them from one ticket, manage them from here. A lot easier to do, when you're able to do that. And so just know that that type of capability is available as well. We also have survey results. I don't have any information because this is an open ticket, but you can turn on the survey tool. When you close a ticket, you want to send a survey back to the user and gauge some feedback. This allows me to see the feedback for this specific ticket, but you could also run reports on that feedback. Show me my unsatisfactory tickets for the last month, or something like that. All right. I want to go back into templates for you, just to show you a few different ways that we can use them. I've already shown you one, which is a quick ticket. That's more help desk. The other two that I want to show are a little bit outside of help desk, but really are there to make life a little bit more efficient, improve your communication and also documenting things. Like I said, a little bit outside of help desk, and what I mean by that is we realize you don't just help people all day. You have a lot of things you do, upgrades, updates, tasks, projects. I mean, a lot of things going on, and those are probably the most common things that go undocumented. So the first one I'll show you here is what we call a reoccurring ticket. Let's pretend that someone on your staff has a task that they do once a month or once a week, whatever it might be. You can create a ticket for it or a template, and then you can put it on a reoccurrence pattern. And in this scenario, I'll say on the first day of every month, I want this created and sent to the appropriate person. Number one, great reminder. Number two is you're documenting it. Dear Mr. Superintendent, President, CEO, whoever it might be, here's how much time we spend helping people. Here's how much time we spend updating, upgrading technology within the department as well. I think end users and even some administrators often think that all you do is help people, but they don't see the bigger picture. And so this allows us to automate that type of a workload and get it into your system so you're able to run reports on it. And that's any time frame that you'd like. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every 3 days, whatever that might be. Now, the other template that I'll show you deals with projects. You'll remember that I talked about child tickets and all those tasks that are associated to projects. Well, we wanted to automate that as well. We realized that oftentimes you don't just send out 5 separate tasks at the same time. You want to create a step-by-step workflow that's automated. Like for a new hire, step 1, we have HR launch and send us the new hire information. Well, right away we send out 2 child tickets. We do have more than 2, but we're only going to send out 2 here for the first, for the second step of this process. Add them to the directory, and we need maintenance to put in a desk. Once they've been completed, then our system will kick out the next series of tickets. And once again, you can put these in any order that you want. It's just a drag and drop. You can have way more than 5 steps. You can, like I said, put them in any order that you'd like. It's just there to increase your communication, make things a little bit more efficient. How many times have you shown up with a computer and there's no desk, right? You're waiting on someone else, you're depending on someone else, and that communication sometimes, kind of goes by the wayside. Well, this allows us to increase that communication and make it a little bit more efficient for you. Last thing that I'll go through with you today gets into our reporting. Amy mentioned scheduling and automating reports. We can very easily come in here to our search functionality, and we can create data reports where you can see your columns. You can put these in any order that you'd like. You can add fields to this, even custom fields. I should mention that. You have the ability to report on those. You can filter this however you'd like. Time frames. You can come in here and you can see the different time frames that we have this week, a month, ranges. You can also, filter specific types of data. Let's say you only want to see this location or these 2 locations. You could filter it down that way. Even custom fields. I won't get in this too far, but you have the ability to come in here and create these. This is more, like I said, more of a data report. More of a filter. What we can do though is that we can take this and we can graph it. And so if I come in like open tickets by location, the graphs are a little bit more robust in that they allow us to break data down. Really, my filter is, hey, show me my open tickets, but I want to break it down by location, and so that's what I've done. I have 8 coming from the high school. Let's say I click it, it drills down, and it shows me those 8 tickets. In this scenario, I've chosen status as the secondary option that I want to see. A lot of assigned not updated. I drill down, it takes me to the ticket. I can actually even open this ticket from the report. I don't have to go back and forth looking for this within the help desk. I'm going to take you into edit mode. That was kind of to introduce it to you. This allows me to take a saved data report or a filter, and I can choose it. And then from there, I can determine how I want to break it down. And so if I come in here, you remember I chose location, but this could be type of problem, by tech, priority, status, right? Different options that you have. When I drill down again, you'll remember I chose status. Well, this allows me to say, well, I want to see it by tech, maybe by category option. I have different options there. I can do this in HTML, PDF, Excel, CSV, pie charts, bar charts. This is what I'm getting at. Run this on a schedule. Once you've created this, if you wanted, you could simply just say, I want this to be emailed to me every other day, or once a week, once a month. I want this emailed to the site supervisor once a month. Hey, here are the tickets that we did for you. It's very easy to come in and automate this report so that you're not having to go in, run it, create it in PDF, save it, send it via email. I mean, we can basically automate that process and do that for you. Now, I think I have another example here with reports. This is more of a trending by category. Nope, I changed my I apologize. I've been messing around with this thing all morning. There we go. And so if I come back here, this is closed by category for the month. And so what it allows me to see is we did 68 tickets. What types, right? Maybe you're trying to identify some areas to train in. You know, we can eliminate some of these calls that come in. 46 hardware, you know, what types of hardware? I drill down again, boot problem, right? I can go open the tickets from here. Maybe this isn't a boot problem. Maybe this is a Nikki Patterson problem. We can see a common trend there. And so a lot of different options with reports, excuse me. You can take these graphs and you can put them in dashboard views. So when you open a dashboard, it has like up to 4 saved reports per dashboard. So if you wanted to, you know, see 3 or 4, 5 reports throughout the day, just open the dashboard. It updates every 10 to 15 seconds, so it's real close to real time. And you can get a quick glance at your workload by, you know, location, by tech, you know, aging. You know, there's some different options that you do have there. I've kind of briefly gone over the help desk, and I realize I've, you know, only skimmed the top here. We do offer one-on-one. If you guys wanted to get a little bit more in depth with, you know, your specific organization and look at specific things, we would be happy to do that. We do offer asset integration, asset tracking for not only tracking information on assets, but also tying problems to assets so that you're able to go in and see all the tickets associated to a specific asset or even run bulk reporting. Show me my top 10, top 20 problem assets. We do auto escalation, which I didn't get into, where you can set up rules. You know, if a ticket gets older than 3 days, and it's been assigned and not updated after 3 days, let's escalate it to medium. Let's automatically notify the tech, blind copy, carbon copy the manager on it. You know, there's some different scenarios that we do have. I appreciate your time. I'm going to turn the time back over to Amy. Amy, please let me know if you see any questions that I may be able to answer.
Okay, thanks, Gus. So I'm not seeing any questions so far, but if you do have any questions, feel free to put those through on the chat or the Q&A, and we'll give you just a couple minutes to see if anyone has any questions.